Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Frazer Clarke, the British prospect and former Olympic bronze medalist, has a change of opponent for June. Instead of fighting on June the 10th, he will now be fighting at your call on the 16th of June. He will be facing the battle-tested and faded Mariusz Wach. So seemingly Ben Shalom, the boxer promoter, is trying to save a little bit of face here after blatantly ducking Fabio Wardley, with Clarke pulled out of a purse bid just moments before it was to occur, and that would have been a fight between Wardley and Clarke for the British title. And some of the reasoning given by Shalom was, well, Clarke wasn't ready. He needed some fights where he went 8 to 10 rounds first. He wasn't just going to jump straight from 6 to 12 rounds against Wardley. So they've now scrapped what was going to be a fight against a subpar opponent. No offense to Harry Armstrong, 5-1-1. He's the 25th best heavyweight in the UK and 316th in the world according to BoxRec. So now replacing with the battle-tested and weary and faded Mariusz Wach, the Viking, who is a former world title challenger, but that is from many years gone by. And actually, I noted from the promo poster, they must have dug this photo of Wach out from like 10 years ago, something like that. Here is one from just the other day. You know, do a comparison. Mariusz Wach has had several, years on the added to the clock there since that last promo poster was taken. And maybe they're doing that also to make it look like Mariusz Wach is a little bit fresher than he actually is. So Wach is currently 43 years old, record of 36-9, and I guess it's not so much the record that we need to be worried about, it's actually the rounds. I mean, Frazer Clarke, he needs some rounds, and I guess also we need to see him across more rounds. So if this one here more than likely is going to go quite a few rounds, if not the distance, I think it's a 10-rounder. We get to see Frazer Clarke, what he looks like in the second half of a fight, down the stretch, that sort of thing. In one of his earlier fights, he was sort of blowing quite hard after a round or two, so we get to see what the gas tank is like over a longer distance. So it is a good learning fight, and it's obviously for Frazer Clarke and Ben Shalom and Sky trying to save a little bit of face and actually put into practice what they were actually saying they needed to do, instead of facing Harry Armstrong, which, no offense to him, is a massive step down from Mariusz Wach, and the sort of fights that Clarke sort of needs to be in, the learning fights at least, if he is going to take them and then progress to something like a Fabio Wardley. And Ben Shalom has been saying, look, we need to do these fights and then we'll do a fight with Wardley. It'll be on our terms. I think the thing is, he just wants to sign Fabio Wardley, who's apparently off contract, and have it all in-house. He wants to make sure he can set things up for Clarke, etc. I think Fabio Wardley, he'll do Fabio Wardley. Whether that's with Eddie Hearn and DAZN, we'll see. I could see some of, Dillian Whyte's fighters, like a Fabio Wardley, maybe a Thomas Carty, Alan Babbage, all that sort of stuff, coming onto Sky or going in between the different platforms. Never rule out Queensbury as well. So Mariusz Wach, his recent form, we'll just quickly cover that. Obviously, a guy over 40 now, it's been more losses than wins of late. So Kevin Lorena, 12 rounds for him. I mean, Lorena controlled the whole thing. Wach, didn't really throw too many shots in anger in terms of success, but, it was rounds for Lorena. In the fight against Aslanbek Makhmudov, he actually put up a couple of strong rounds. I think it was rounds, 3 or 4. Ultimately, though, he sort of got worn down and battered by the hard punching and aggressive Makhmudov, who was just trying to take his block off at any opportunity. It's been 12 with Hughie Fury. That was back in 2020. 10 rounds with Kevin Johnson back then as well. As we know, Dillian Whyte, he put up a credible effort in that one, but I think it's been diminishing returns of late. He is 43 after all, now rated the 114th best fighter in the world according to BoxRec. So I don't hate this, and I kind of think this is that sort of progression fight that Clarke probably needs if he isn't going to be stepping up to face Wardley as he was ordered to do. So whether Clarke is going to get that opportunity against Fabio Wardley or whoever holds the title, we shall see. But he should go in there. He needs to show us his wares and show us how he can break down a fighter. And I'm not saying that he can't stop Mariusz Wach, because he's there to be hit. But certainly I think guys who are on the same level in terms of power have had a hard time putting a dent in Mariusz Wach unless they've really put a beating on and gone all out. I mean, think Aslan Bekmambetov, Martin Bakole was the first one to really sort of put a beating on him and be able to stop him in, 7 or 8 rounds. And that was a few years ago as well. So it is a test where he'll get rounds. But beyond that, and the durability that Mariusz Wach brings, Wach is not really a great offensive fighter. But what is Clarke going to look like through the fight? Is he going to tire? Is he going to gas? I mean, because I think there's questions about Clarke. How good is he really? Because so far he's just looked workmanlike and nothing more. Maybe Boxer and Ben Shalom are sort of thinking, we haven't really got anything out of this guy so far. We've put a lot into him. Are we going to get a return on the investment? And this is at a smaller venue, your call. But, it's an opportunity to Frazer Clarke to prove the critics wrong, to go out there, put on a performance and show that he's ready for bigger and better tests. I mean, him and Ben Shalom have been, disparaging Fabio Wardley and others, saying, look, I've fought better than you. Look, I'm above your level, all this sort of stuff. Yet we're really yet to see it. If I was to put Fabio Wardley in with Mariusz Wach, I would pick Wach to lose pretty comfortably. I think Clarke should win this one. Will he gas down the stretch? Well, we're going to see, but I think he should win, probably by decision. If not, it'll be more of a late sort of type stoppage. What do you make of this fight? I mean, what do you make of this whole situation with Shalom now trying to sort of actually follow through, save a little bit of face after ducking Fabio Wardley and pulling Clarke out of that fight? Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.